The Business Report, brought to you with the compliments of Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
In business tonight, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Dale Marshall has again been explaining why government must move to ensure that compliance standards set by international organizations like the Financial Action Task Force are met. He says this is why they went to Parliament late last year to deal with issues like money laundering and terrorist financing. Now, Barbados scored very poorly when the island's mutual evaluation was done about 2 years ago on both issues. And Mr. Marshall says they are trying to score high on this year's report. He pointed out that if we don't meet the required standards, there is just not the concept of being blacklisted, but being considered a high-risk jurisdiction. And the Attorney General was speaking during a press conference at government headquarters this afternoon to update the island on recent meetings with the World Bank and other international financial institutions.
If our banks took that position, if our many insurance companies took that position, then essentially it means that their relationships with far more valuable customers, far more valuable jurisdictions would suffer, and Barbados was seen as being the weak link in the chain, and therefore we will lose the correspondent banking. Companies will not come to Barbados. Now, what does that mean? It means that when you want to buy a new cell phone, you can't get it because it's to be bought in US dollars. When the hospital wants medication, can't get it because it has to be bought in US dollars. When you want flour to make bread, so every element of our ability to connect with the outside world in terms of trading, even to buy fertilizers to grow our own vegetables, every single element will be put at risk if we don't meet these standards.
President of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, believes that local processors can meet the standards to produce patties for fast food chain Burger King. Just last week, Chairman of Restaurants Associates Limited, Ralph Busy Williams, which holds the rights to the Burger King franchise in Barbados, called for patties to be produced on the island. Now, Mr. Paul says that many producers already provide for other fast food chains across the country, and they can satisfy the needs of Burger King.
I do not understand how at the same time you have two different standards, one for Jamaica and at the same time another for Barbados, which actually allows them to be able to source local products in Jamaica while in Barbados where they are not allowed. On the point of the standard, none of the players in the sector, from the point of view of the processors, have indicated that they are not willing to comply with whatever standard that Burger King happens to need. And as a matter of fact, they have been willing to make the investments.
And it's time now to take a look at how stocks traded on selected exchanges across our region. In Jamaica, Sagicor Real Estate X Fund Limited was the volume leader with 999,193 units. In Trinidad and Tobago, National Flour Mills Limited was the volume leader with 109,010 shares changing hands, all for a value of $182,146.80. And here in Barbados, Goddard Enterprises Limited was the sole security trading 320 shares at $3.25 each.
Two arrows coming together as one. The indelible link between our customers and the bank. One arrowhead represents the needs, dreams, and aspirations of the people of the communities that we serve, while the other represents the people within our Republic Bank group and the products and services that we provide as we work together to build successful societies. These two arrowheads come together in a tight, interlocking embrace, symbolizing the coming together of these two sets of aspirations to form one goal, one people, one bank, Republic Bank.
We're the one for you.
And in international business, last night we told you that one of India's biggest airlines, Jet Airways, was folding because it ran out of money. Well, now the airline's 16,000 workers are fighting to save their jobs.
They're fighting for their livelihoods. These Jet Airways employees haven't been paid in months, some not since last August, and it's been taking a toll on them and their families.
Education of children are suffering, the health of parents is not taken care of the way it was, because all the insurances and things are all defaulted.
Thought that we might retire from here. You see, here is my son, he's also in jet, he's also flying as a pilot. So if I could have thought of that it will get into this situation, I wouldn't have brought him in this airline only.
Once considered India's premier private airline, it suffered financial difficulties for years, coming close to collapse in 2013 until Abu Dhabi's Etihad Airways bought a 24% stake, infusing new cash and life into the airline. But new low-cost domestic carriers have continued to eat into Jet Airways' market share and profits.
Formally announced the first ever.
And Jet's founder Naresh Goel was forced to step down from the board in March after being criticized for continuing to spend on planes and premier landing slots as the airline's debts were piling up.